Hey guys, it's James Joslin with the Wilton Group here at Queenston Realty in Princeton, New Jersey. Today, we're talking about the math of the Princeton real estate market, how to understand the pricing, and what you need to know if you want to be successful. So let's get into it. As always, I'm throwing out a quick save the date. We have our Princeton Market Seminar coming up. Now, this is a special one. If you're going to miss some of the others, this is not it. July 16th at 6:30 p.m., we are hosting our mid-year market seminar. This is truly the one to be at. Josh will recap the first half of the year, and then he'll forecast what we anticipate seeing throughout the rest of the year. So it's in person, as always, at our wonderful office, or it will be broadcasted on YouTube, Zoom. So if you're interested in attending, text 609-203-9910 and say the word market seminar. I will make sure to get you set up, and I would love to see you guys there. All right, so first things first, our Princeton real estate market recap. As of this morning, which is June 19th, we have 60 properties for sale. 29 of those properties are above $2 million. So that is 48% of the market. Now that is down a little bit from the last few months where we're sitting at close to 60% of the market sitting in the north of $2 million range. But still, significant portion of the real estate market is priced at $2 million and above. We currently have 52 properties that are active under contract or pending, making the collective market of Princeton, New Jersey a 1.15% absorption rate. That means in total, the market is moving at about a month to a month and a half worth of inventory. So if nothing new came on, by this time in July, there should be no active inventory. That's not the case, but it's an extreme seller's market nonetheless. So out of the 60 homes that are currently for sale in Princeton, New Jersey, the least expensive property is 1 Willow Street. Now that's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath duplex. It's one half of an entire duplex that is for sale. So 1 and 3 Willow, $750 for 1, $750 for 3. You could buy them as a whole at 1.5 or individually as either half. Now that got a ton of action and it is likely to be off the market in a couple of days because as I understand it, there are multiple offers. But that's the least expensive home that you could buy in Princeton today. Now, the most expensive property in Princeton is 30 Leonard Court at $6.995 million, so just under $7 million. This is a classic estate. It has an indoor golf simulator. It has a pool, privacy. I mean, this is truly a classic estate. So there's really a ton of inventory that is out there, and there's something for everyone. My favorite property, and I wanted to highlight this property, and I'll say this, it's not my listing. It's listed by another brokerage in town, but it's 44 Armour. It's listed at $4 million. It just had a price reduction or price improvement, if you will. And this is an incredible custom contemporary home that was built in 2021. It's beautiful. Honestly, it is truly something that I love. It's walk to town. The neighborhood's super cute. It's in the western section, but it's just kind of like its own private little area. So if you're interested in any of these properties, obviously reach out to me. But 44 Armour is really, truly a spectacular property. And I think at $4 million for a relatively new construction home that is so incredibly well designed, that is my home of the week. So let's keep it going. And this is interesting. So out of the 60 homes for sale, if we were to break it down into segments, now this is all styles and price points. Under $1 million, there are 5 active homes for sale. Of those 5, I know that one is inhabitable, 2 have offers, and you're really left with 2 properties at the end of the day under $1 million that would actively be for sale. Of those, you can see that there are 15 that are active under contract or pending. No properties have been on the market for 30 days or more. There have been 0 price reductions. So I'm giving this an extreme seller's market. We're selling this as a seller score of a 10. Now we'll jump from $999,000 to $1.99 million. Now, again, if you've been watching and you've been following along, you know that that's where we see the bulk of the transactions. That's where the most people are in the market. That's where the most homes are. And we just see, there's more people out there that can afford $1 million to 1.99 million than some of these other price points. So 26 active active properties for sale, and 25 of those are active under contract or pending. So right there, you can see the market's absorbing itself. Of the 26 active homes, 5 have been on the market for 30 days or more. There have been 0 price reductions, so I mark that a 10. That is still an extreme seller's market, and we're sitting there with a 10. Then you jump to 2 million up to 3 million. We have 16 homes for sale. There are 7 active under contract or pending. Of the 16 that are actively for sale, 7 have been on the market for 30 days or more. We've experienced 1 price reduction, so I'm marking that as an 8. It's not it's still, homes are moving. It's not as extreme as the under $2 million market, but listen, stuff's absorbing, things are moving, and there really aren't a lot of price reductions, and homes aren't sitting on the market. Now, let's take a look at the $3+ million market. There are 13 properties for sale. 5 are active under contract or pending in that price point. Of the 13, 7 have been on the market for 30 days or more. There have been 2 price reductions, so I am labeling this a 7 out of 10. So we're still seeing inventory moving. It's still a seller's market within reason. Homes aren't just accumulating on market, but as you can see, 7 of the 13 have been on the market for over 30 days, and we've experienced 2 price reductions. So we'll continue to watch that upper segment, but it's interesting when you break the market down by price points, you really see under $1 million is non-existent. I mean, it is absorbing, the market's absorbing itself. 1 million to 1.9, just under 2 million. Again, same thing. Inventory comes on, inventory goes off. And then you can see in the $2+ million range where there's a lot more inventory, it's still moving quickly. We're not seeing tons of price reductions and tons of homes with extended days on market, but it is starting to pick up a little bit. I always think it's fun to kind of look back to see where we were this time last year. So again, we're going to take a look at Princeton from June of 2025 to this year, June to year to date. So we're a little bit over halfway through the year, but it's still interesting nonetheless. So June 2025, there were 45 active listings. There were 34 units sold, and there was a total of $64 million in sold volume. The average sale price in June of 2025 was $1.575 million. The average days on market was 19 days on market, and the average list to sale price ratio was 104.6% of the asking price. Now, let's take a look at June of 2026. So far this year, through the 19 days of June, we've had 26 active listings. 20 units have sold. So far, we have a sold volume of $38,366 and an average sold price of $2.178 million. Now that's huge. It's a massive jump. I do think it's a little bit slanted by the fact that we saw a couple of really huge sales close this month. And so that's definitely swaying that average sales price. But that's where we're at today. 16 days for an average days on market. So the days on market have actually gone down a little bit. And the list to sale price ratio is 100%, 100.4. So it's down. It's still 100% of the asking price, but it's just not 104%. I always think it's kind of interesting to compare and contrast. It'll be very cool to see where we're at and how we end the year. I have a feeling that we'll hit the sold volume for June. We'll probably exceed what we did last year, but we may not have as many active listings and or sold listings just because we're seeing a little bit less inventory transact. In the same vein, we're going to jump back to 2023 and look through year to date. This is always fun, right? So in 2023, you had 287 active listings. You had 239 sell. This is for the full year. And an average sales price of $1.399 million. So just under $1.4 million in 2023. And a total sales volume for the year of $334 million. Jump to 2024, you had 296 listings, 233 sold properties. The average sales price was $1.475 million. You had 39 days on market and $343 million of total volume sold in 2024. Last year, 310 homes came onto the market, 229 sold. The average sales price jumped to $1.61 million. The days on market also jumped to 42. And we had a sold volume of $370 million for last year. Now, it's interesting. I think as home prices continue to rise and affordability continues to strain here in Princeton, you're seeing a longer day on market because there's a lot more homes that are just higher priced. And then let's jump into 2026 really quickly. So year to date, we've had 142 homes listed, 64 homes have sold. The average sales price is $1.628 million. Average days on market's down to 34 days. And thus far, we've had $95 million in sold volume. So we've got a long way to go, but you can kind of see if you continue tracking where we'll end up at the end of the year. So knowing the math and knowing the market is imperative. And it's imperative to your success. Because in a market like Princeton, you're not bidding against the seller, but the next best buyer or the next two best buyers. So we have 9 to 10 factors that impact the price of a home, and we understand exactly where a home will sell and why. And we use these factors to help us determine that price, and that's up or down. So if you want to understand the math of the market, you want to understand the different factors that are going to dictate where a home sells and why, message me. I would love to have you come in for a strategy call. We'll go over all of them in great detail. We'll get extremely granular, and you'll walk away with what we call our MBA on the greater Princeton real estate market. Now, this is applicable to Princeton, West Windsor, Montgomery. It doesn't matter where you're looking. These different key drivers are the metrics that impact the price of a home and where it's going to sell. And you as the consumer have to understand how they apply to the sales price. So if this is new to you, or you're looking to buy a home, or you want to just better understand the market, message me, 609-203-9910. I'll break it all down for you. It takes about an hour, and you will be the most informed consumer in the market. So again, Princeton is a very competitive market. You have to understand how inventory, pricing, and all of these different things play into the ultimate bid strategy that you're going to come up with. Because you're not just guessing here. You need clarity. You need to understand how things sell, where they're selling, and why. At the end of the day, it's my job to help provide the why and to give you clarity. And so I'm not going to get into it in depth today. As always, if this is stuff that you would like to learn more about or you really want to have a better understanding of, reach out and we can talk about it. But this is just kind of recapping everything that we talked about. The under $1 million market is really non-existent. It just doesn't exist in Princeton. So just understand that if something comes on in that under $1 million segment and it's a single family home and it's move-in ready condition, it's going to sell quickly and there will be multiple offers. Conversely, if you have a single family home under $1 million and you're thinking about selling, it's a great time to sell. It really is. You would have like an asset that a lot of people want. It's very simple, supply and demand. The under $1.5 million market is extremely tight. Inventory is still very limited. There's a ton of upward pressure, and there's just a lot of buyers that are looking to buy into Princeton, New Jersey in that price point. Then you have the $1.5 to $2.5 million. I'm calling that the new core of the Princeton market. That's realistically where the most people come to us saying, hey, my budget's either 1.5 to 2, or maybe it's up to 2.5. Obviously, there's a lot of people that are buying above that price point, but I'd say the core Princeton market is really kind of in that $1.5 to $2.5 million range. And then anything under $2 million, there's close to 60% of inventory at any given time. As of this morning, we're at 48%. So there's a lot of homes that are priced above $2 million. So what does that mean? It's very expensive to buy into Princeton. quite frankly. And that's just the truth. The average single family home price is currently, this is single families, $1.6 million. The average townhouse in Princeton, New Jersey is $954,000 with a list to sale price ratio of 102.3% of the asking price. And then this is pretty interesting. The average condo price in Princeton is $604,000, and the average list to sale price ratio is 100% of the asking price. So keep in mind that's only year to date. Only 3 condos have sold this year, so there's not a lot of active inventory. But yeah, if you want to get a condo, you're looking at around $600,000. Townhomes are, let's say, anywhere from $750,000 to $1.2 million. They can get higher than that. And single families are, on average, like $1.6 million. That's I think, very fascinating. But again, with such limited inventory in this market, you have to understand the driving factors and how to kind of understand this market, because the inventory is really only just part of the story. So we always say, know the math, know the market. In a competitive market like Princeton, you have to have clarity. If you're a buyer and you're coming into this market, you're not bidding against the seller. You're bidding against the next best buyer or two. And whoever has the most clarity and understands the 9 to 10 factors that are going to impact the price of a home up or down will be the person who successfully beats out those other 2 people. So if you would like to have a consultation or sit down with me for a buyer success strategy call, text me 609-203-9910. I would love to break the market down, show you what it takes to be successful, and give you your MBA in the Princeton real estate market. Our buyers, I attribute our success, and I say our being Josh, myself, our team, but the Wilton Group's success and my own personal success for my clients lies in the fact that we provide clarity. That's it. Our buyers are the most informed consumers in the Princeton market. They know what it takes to win, and they're also not afraid to make bids on homes that may be overpriced because we analyze everything in such detail. But to get into all of that, message me, call me. That's my cell phone. I'd love to share more about the Princeton market with you and help you understand what it takes to be a successful consumer in Princeton. Part of that, and again, I'm not going to get into it all today, but part of that is understanding the 9 factors that are going to impact the price. So style is one of them. The price per square foot. What is it? How does it affect the sale of a home? How do you use price per square foot to figure out if a home's going to sell up or sell down? Is it overpriced or underpriced? I know. If you don't know, that's something you do need to know, and you have to understand that. Absorption rate. I was talking about how fast the market's moving in this video, but that's something we track religiously. Like, how fast is the market moving? And we get very specific. We understand price points. We're into styles. If it's a townhome, it's townhome specific. But these are things you have to know. These are things you have to understand when pricing a house. And this is the same for listing a home or buying a home. But today I'm kind of talking through the lens of a buyer, but it's all applicable across the board. Condition. We have a condition score. That condition score takes into a lot of different characteristics of a home into account. From there, it's a conforming versus non-conforming lot. Are you in a historic district? Can you build an ADU? I mean, these are just some of the things that we break down and understand and help you understand when we're creating an analysis to help you successfully bid on a home. Because at the end of the day, you need to understand what a home is worth and why. We're always here to help you guys understand the why. I can't tell you the number of clients that I've helped successfully buy a home and navigate this competitive market who have been looking with other buyers for a year, working with other brokers or other agents, and they just didn't have the clarity. They didn't understand what it took to be successful. And an hour call with myself and Josh, they walk away going, oh my gosh, guys, like, this makes so much sense. Thank you. And I just think it's all about providing clarity at a very high level. So again, if this sounds new to you or interesting to you, or maybe you're out thinking about looking for homes, but you don't know any of this, call me, 609-203-9910. I would love to help you understand the market better. So just to recap, guys, for the most part, Princeton across the board always remains a seller's market. Sellers tend to have leverage in a town like Princeton. It's phenomenal schools, great downtown, great shops. We've got the university. We've got tons of private schools in the area. We're equal distant to Philadelphia, New York. We can be in DC in 3 hours. I mean, it's such an idyllic spot that there's always a lot of people moving here. And it's competitive. It's very hard to buy into. It takes a lot to get here. Once you're in, it's amazing. And it's a phenomenal community. But you have to understand the 9 to 10 different metrics that are going to impact the price of a home up or down, as well as a lot of other factors to be successful in this market. There's no guessing when you work with myself and the team. It's clarity based off of data, based off of experience and knowing the market, having inside information, and helping you guys be as successful as possible. So again, thank you for watching this, guys. If you learned something new today, please like, comment, subscribe. If you're looking to buy a home in Princeton or the greater Princeton area, message me. I'd love to chat. And if you have a friend who's thinking about buying, or you're just a real estate nerd and you like math and numbers, share our episode, share this with a friend. As always, thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Have a great day, guys. James Joslin with the Wilton Group, and I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day. Thanks. Bye.